How's it going, everyone? Brian York here with Yorkie Moto Garage, and today we're working on this Mighty Green project. We're starting to do the wiring on the bike. We're working on lights right now. If you want to know how to do the lights, go to my wiring diagram video, and you'll know how to test the lights. And what we did today is we put a KO harness in here. I don't know if I talked to you guys earlier on my last video. We're going to put a tail light on this bike and a headlight, and it's going to come on with the switch in the second position. I just want running lights so that if I'm out after dark, I'll be able to have some lights. Probably won't ride it out after dark very often. I'm not going to have any brake lights or anything like that, just tail light and a headlight. And the headlight probably won't have a dimmer on it or anything. It'll just come on with the switch and go off with the switch. And as you all know, from the last video, we decided we're going to do a 125cc Ridgyard 125cc motor. So we're going to kind of get into this in depth today on what we're going to start doing. And we're going to try to go through some of this wiring and try to figure out what we want to do. So there is a wire. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you on this harness because it's much easier. If you go to your wiring harness, there is a black and yellow wire, or black and white, whatever. It's usually coupled with a red and a green wire. That is going to be your coil wire. Okay, so if your switch is on the bike, which this one is, I've got the harness in it. I'm not going to show you in detail, but right here, if you turn the lights on, we should have a tail light. See, we've got lights now. Tail light's hooked up in the second position, and it's hooked up just exactly like the way it is from the factory. In order to test that, you just have to have this brown and the green and yellow wire hooked to your tail light. The tail light has to be grounded. And then you can hook power to your hot wire here. And then you should be able to ground it. And you should have a tail light when you turn the switch on. If you don't, then you've not got something right. Okay, so we've made it that far. We've got our tail light working properly. Now also, we want to use the black and white wire like I was telling you. Or black and yellow wire that comes out of the harness. This wire right here. Now what we want to do is, I'm just showing you this so it's a little bit easier. We're going to locate this black wire on this harness, which is this one right here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is with the switch in the off position, we want to check this with ohms. And what I usually do is put it on where it beeps. Okay? See how we got continuity here when you touch these leads? Now what we want to do is hook to this black wire, and then we want to go to ground, and if it beeps, then we know the switch is getting ground. Now when the switch is all the way in the off position, it should be grounded. That grounds the coil out and keeps the bike from firing. Okay, so we're going to see this. Now see here? Now if we take this switch and switch it in any of the two other positions, it should not beep. See there? Okay. Okay, so this black wire is working properly like it's supposed to. Now what we're going to do is when we hook up our ground on our 125, we're going to run one wire through. There's two wires on the coil. We're going to run one wire through to this, and then another wire to the coil, and another wire to the ground. So whenever this is grounded, the spark will not work, and when you turn the switch on, that takes the ground off. That's what makes the motor spark. So that's how far we've gotten today. We put a throttle assembly on, we put the throttles on, everything is on there properly. I want to go through and put the motor on a test stand. I've got the test stand over here. As you can see, this little yellow stand right here. It's not much. It's got a coil and everything on it. But we're going to go through and do that. and we're going to check all that and make sure the motor's working properly, and I'll show you in another video of how that works out. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of idea of what we're doing today, and I want to thank you all for joining in. And then next week we'll put this thing on the test stand, and we'll see how we get our spark, and we'll get the bike running, or I'm sorry, we'll get the motor running, and then we'll check to see if we can get a output on your voltage for your lights, and that'll be the next video. So thank you for joining today. Like and subscribe to my page, Yorkie Moto Garage. Thanks everybody. We'll see you soon.